Ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I, Big Joe Shep. I am back, founder and head of live streaming engagement at Livestream Solutions, and I'm back working again with the wonderful OneStream Live, and we are live today, 1100 Eastern Time every Tuesday on our shows, which is 1600 time currently, 1600 hours currently in UK and Ireland, and you can watch it on catch up as well. So we are back again, part 3 excuse me, of our 4-part mini series in September, from tradition to tech, where we're looking to help small and medium businesses, and as it turns out, some of the engagement we've had with bigger businesses who want to jump on board and help get themselves transitioned into digital transformation. That simply means adding digital technology into all aspects of your business, your organization, and transitioning through that. Not an easy measure. So on today's show, we'll be looking at some of those things where, where does it overlap? The best of both worlds. Because remember, we want to get the winning combination where we're still doing some traditional stuff, but we're transforming ourselves into the digital verse, the digital sphere. Oh, and by the way, I had a couple of messages yesterday from some people saying, part 3, fella. Part 3 from Tradition Tech. Wasn't that last week? No, this is part 3. You see, what happens is, in the digital universe, the digiverse, as the geeks and nerds like to call it, sometimes you get a little bit of what they call metaverse memory, where even the memories get a little bit buffered. So no, this is the only part 3 you've seen. You haven't seen it so far, although we've had some issues. We have had some issues at the very beginning. We've seen this chap in, I'm shaking a bit today. We've seen this chap in a parallel universe, and he snuck in, trying to, look at him. That's actually, that thumbnail sums up that old bloke there, old and live. So in a parallel universe, you may have seen that old bloke, but you've only seen this good-looking, young, thrusting bloke. Jesus, that bloke there on the right, he's wore that blue shirt for weeks and weeks now. Let's get rid of him, but I'm sure he'll pop up again. But you are here today to look at part 3, which is how we immerse, how we integrate the best of traditional marketing. I can't even believe I said those jokes. There's some geeks or nerds out there will just use them at the next convention they go to, but you're welcome. How we integrate traditional marketing, in all seriousness, just for a moment there, across to digital technology and the digital transformation. Why? Because the whole idea is to be able to elevate your brand and build a thriving, engaged online community through live streaming and digital engagement, but accepting, as we've done in part 1 and part 2, that there are still lots of traditional marketing methods. So that's what's on today's show. Keep it right here with OneStream Live and from tradition to tech. Welcome. So 4 parts that we've had so far. Let me just pull all of these through. Part 3. So part 1, a couple of weeks ago, from flyers to Facebook, we looked back actually, it was 14 years to when email was vying, it was coming through to be the new kid on the block, the emperor's new clothes, call it what you will, but it was vying with the old junk mail, as we saw next set, remember, from Junk Mail Millionaire, and how they were vying. And the analogy is still the same, that in today's modern world, we've got traditional marketing methods vying with the digital transformation, the digital technology era of live streaming and digital engagement. And so nothing's changes over the years. It's just a cycle. And our great friends at the graphics team at OneStream Live, thank you to them again for all the hard work they're doing behind the scenes, giving us this little cycle of our 4-week shows. From Flyers to Facebook was part 1, going live, where we give a bit of an introduction to going live. In fact, I'm just going to put get messages through on my chat. Let's connect our chat through. There we go. So welcome to everybody, first of all, who's watching us across the digital sphere. Maybe if it's your first time, then go back and watch the other shows. You can find everything at OneStream Live. So there we go. So that was going live. Today, best of both worlds, how we integrate. And again, look, there's no aha moments. What it is there'll be 3 different times. There'll be, actually, I'm lying. There'll be a few people who'll get an aha moment, but actually deep down, they know that they need to transition. There'll be people who will be looking at it for the first time or have been thinking, I do need to change. I do need to transition through. Shep's right. We need to be able to get through to from where we are, but I don't want to give all that up. I don't want to give all that traditional marketing because I quite like it. It works for me. And later today, we're going to hear from the great Jill Woods. Yes, we saw her in part 1 from Practice Momentum, a digital marketing agency, on how her and her clients have inculcated that very, very well. You incorporated that very, very well into what they're doing to get the best of both worlds. And then next week, future-proofing the business, where we'll be looking at all sorts. We'll be touching on AI, because there's people out there watching today who'll be thinking, Jesus, Shep, it's I understand what you're saying. I've been following you, love what you're talking about, but it's a big jump, and there's AI, and I'm a bit afraid. I'm scared. There's just too much. It's blowing my mind a little bit. So that's where we are. And don't forget, the whole thing about, let me just remove that thing, the whole thing about live streaming and the digital engagement package. So Livestream Solutions, don't forget, we will then break down a monthly live stream show, and we'll give some short video clips, which are teasers or can be used on other platforms. We'll do a Knowledge Hub blog article that accompanies the show. Oh, and by the way, before part 4 next week, or around about part 4 next week comes out, there will be an accompanying blog article on this 4-part series called From Tradition to Tech, which will be put out through Livestream Solutions and will be reshared by OneStream Live across all of our normal channels as well. So again, people want to listen, people want to hear, people want to read. It's all that semantics for learning, visual hearing and feeling. So you get a little bit of everything from us here at OneStream Live. So this is what we're trying to do. So why do we use, I got asked on the end of week 1, why we don't just put the link out for people just to join. Because to be honest, one of the reasons I set up my company, Livestream Solutions Live Stream Academy, was because the jump was too big for most organizations. If you take small to medium companies across Europe, it's about 25 million. So I'm told. So the start people tell me. About, on average, the traditional, let's just stick up, where are we? Before we come back to live streaming and the importance of OneStream Live. Yeah, people love this. We shared this out again last week. Let me just move that one across to that side. Put me down there, because as handsome as I am, there we go. So that's the winning combination where we need to be. Remember, traditional marketing styles still happen today, but we're looking to how today and how we integrate it and help you moving forward, so it's not such a big jump. Print ads, so local magazines, newspapers, anything like that, flyers and brochures, all very, very good for some people. Direct mail still works well, all tied in exactly with some of those print ads type things. Business cards, local events, you know, these little pop-up things that people have on shows and stuff. Well, here, Jill Woods is going to cover this more, but what's that? The QR code. Listen, QR code on my business card. I don't really use business cards that much. More to follow on that. But QR codes. This is how you can start to integrate through. Jill, the great Jill Woods, will talk more about that. And on the right-hand side there, live streaming and digital engagement. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we do at Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy. We provide all of those things. Knowledge Hub articles, the live streaming 1-hour show or 45-minute show, monthly, weekly, bi-monthly, quarterly, whatever suits you and your strategy that you've got going as a business owner or an organization. The Knowledge Hub article we've spoken about again and again. Whoa, now SEO coming more to the fore. OneStream Live have been covering SEO massively. Go and watch some of their stuff that they've been doing on that. It is huge. SEO is changing, and it's not just It's all backlinks now. It's on its authority. It's on reputation. It's on so much more than it ever used to be. So you need to keep up with that. And they've been doing a big series on that as well. What else do? We put out, we can download the video file from this and put it into a podcast. Why? Because that goes into a different sphere. Not the parallel universe, as we were talking about before, but it goes into a different area. It's a different area of people who, and of course, on things like Spotify for podcasters now, you can put your video there, and it will turn it into either another video show, or it will turn it into a standard podcast link where people will listen in the car, in the background, when they're working on the headphones or whatever. Different markets, should I say, because there's lots of them that you can go onto from there. So that's very good. And social media content scheduling service, we have that through the Great Missing Letter as well. So that's the two sides, excuse me, and the winning benefits in the middle. We're going to talk more about these, but integrated campaigns, enhanced, what you're trying to do with all of these things is, there we go. Go back again. Traditional marketing, digital engagement. So you've got a QR code. You link on that, they can scan on that, and it will take you to their site or a page on the site. More about that as well when Jill Woods talks as well. So it's how we integrate those type of things. Let me just take off that wee ticker. We've analyzed the fact that now this is the only part 3. So that's what we're trying to get to, the winning combination. But all of those things start. Why is live streaming so important on all of those? Because an organization like OneStream Live does this. They allow us to plan, schedule, and deliver either pre-recorded streaming or live streaming like we're doing today, and people can watch it on catch up across 45 plus locations, including a website, which is a game changer. And that's massive. Custom RTMP streaming, that's like if you want to put in Zoom or any of those other type things as well. Cloud storage integration, all the videos, all the images today, uploaded directly from my Google Workspace Drive. Other drive systems are linked in as well. Multi-platform streaming we've talked about. Stream recording, everything is recorded. This has been recorded today, so I'll download it and we'll cut it into chunks and pieces. The live streaming, team collaboration. So that's it. But I go back to the point I said before. The question I'm going to have to show one, why don't we just put the link out? Again, I make no apologies for reiterating, because people will watch different episodes. They'll come in at different times. And it's all about the fundamental basics of what you're doing. KISS methodology. I base everything on KISS methodology. Keep it simple, I'm stupid. I need to be able to look at things as if I am a customer on the ground, if I'm a client, and can I use this? And the question is, it's bloody scary, peeps. It is really, really scary. So if I give you a link and say, sign up here, you'll be grand. Any questions come back to me, yada. Doesn't work that way. And neither does going to an agency who's going to charge you an arm and a leg to do it for you, because it's smoke and mirrors, and because you're scared of it and they know that, and they can charge a fortune they haven't really got, and it's another thing that you're jumping into. Doesn't need to be. The reason why I am a joint venture partner and brand ambassador with the Great OneStream Live is because we work together to take people on that journey through to that winning combination of live streaming and then what I provide with my company, the digital and engagement business support package. So I couldn't do it without this. But the jump is too much, so we'll let us help you through. So if you've got any questions, contact one of the team at OneStream Live. Tell them Big Joe Shep sent you and you want to speak to him personally. Because I think 24 hours in a day, but I will get back to you. You will always get a personal message from me at some point, regardless whether it's me or one of the team, because I like to meet all of the people I'm working with. That's just the way that we do business at OneStream Live. Everybody gets to meet BJS at one point. So, so contact OneStream Live, contact my team at Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy. Send us a message, a postcard, a carrier pigeon. I can't guarantee that the carrier pigeon will get back to you because I'm quite partial to a little bit of pigeon myself. Nom nom nom. But in all seriousness, we'll help you through. You don't have to do it. Everything by the way, that we do in for clients, we do ourselves. It's tried, it's tested, it's simple. We pick and choose the people we want to work with. It's simple as that. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in the great Jill Woods, and I'm going to share a video. I caught up with her recently. Obviously, she's in Sri Lanka, if you remember rightly. Her husband's with the military out there. They're doing a fantastic job, and they look after themselves out there. And the monsoon, I'm led to believe, is over now, but everybody loved her in part one. What she does, she has built in. She's a podiatrist. You know, they fiddle around with your feet, make your feet all better when you're struggling, your toes, your feet, and all that sort. Brilliant. It's only when you can't walk do you realise the importance of people like Jill. But excuse me, she set up an agency based on what she had learned herself for small healthcare providers. So physios and X-ray people and all of those type of things. Absolutely dentists, all of the podiatrists like she is, chiropractors, all of those type of stuff. And she set up this virtual global now digital agency. And she is probably currently for me the person best placed to help people transition from traditional marketing through to digital engagement. She's enhanced this really, really well for her people. Here is what she had to say. Very interesting. And remember what I said about simple things where tradition, a business card, meets the QR code, which is digital. Here's Jill Woods from Practice Momentum. Gentlemen, welcome to Jill Woods from Practice Momentum. As you know from episode 1, with that many questions 3 weeks ago, that many questions for her, and everybody loved what you were talking about, and we wanted to get you back on and talk on part 3 about the integration. So we will go straight into that. Best practices for integration. Best ways of merging traditional into the digital world.
By far, the simplest and easiest way to integrate the two are QR codes. So we all got used to using QR codes during COVID. We were scanning QR codes for all kinds of things. And now, if you have got offline marketing, in terms of a printed ad, in terms of even display in your window. If you've got a high street window and you've got display in your window, QR code on the door of your practice or your business, if you've got leaflets or banners at events, QR codes are a brilliant, brilliant way of driving offline people online. You can drive them to a landing page, you can drive them to your Google business profile, a QR code can literally drive somebody anywhere on your digital real estate. So it's a fantastic way of getting somebody who's offline and meeting you and finding you offline into your digital world.
That's brilliant. And I've got a QR code on my business card. And do you know what, though? I don't use them enough because I don't do traditional style marketing per se. But I did get these, and I did have one put on it just for that reason. But do you know what? I probably pay lip service, if I'm honest, to things. So you've just reminded me, because I've had conversations with people this week where that would have been brilliant. The whole QR code
and the brilliant thing about QR codes as well is they're trackable. So you can actually get the data from the QR code to tell you how many people have scanned that QR code and gone to that website page. So it gives you real-time data that you can work with as well, so you know how effective that piece of marketing is being.
I just thought of something else as well, because I use Bitly shortcodes.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, okay. I create a link with that, or just normally, because rather than giving somebody a huge long code, Bitly with whatever the title is on, but actually you can create a QR code and give
inside
them.
Bitly.
Yeah, you can. And so I could give people that, because most people are, you're right, I need to change what I'm doing. Right. Moving on to that. That's bro. Moving on from that, then give us a success story for you, because today I want to talk a little bit more about Practice Momentum and where you've used that, that's worked particularly well for you on that transition.
Yeah, so we've got a client who is big into sports injuries. So they are really focusing their business. They've run a very general practice for a long time, and they're starting to focus their business down into being specifically about sports injuries. And recently they were approached to provide some sponsorship for a local sports team. I can't remember, Joe, it might have been rugby team, I can't remember, but anyway, and they put a banner. We designed this banner to go on the pitch side, effectively big banner, and we put a QR code on it. And the page that QR code took people to talks specifically about sports injuries relating to rugby or whatever. I think it was rugby. And because somebody's at a rugby match, you're kind of making the assumption they're going to be interested in rugby. So when they scan this banner that's talking about sports injuries, and you take them to a page where you've got photographs of rugby players, and you're talking a little bit about rugby sporting injuries, and if you're interested and you want an assessment, we've done assessments on rugby players. Here's some stories, and you can build this page that talks directly to somebody who's interested in rugby because they saw your banner at a rugby match and scanned your QR code, so that now we've got a potential patient who's having this really great curated experience all about rugby, and that it's a no-brainer to click that button and book an appointment.
Yeah. So we're saying that the customer behavior, the customer mindset is changing.
Yes.
How are you seeing that? Because what that leads on, I think, from what you've just said, because that's great.
Yeah, so what we are seeing, so we deal largely with people who run healthcare practices who are still in the high street, for want of a better term. I learned living in America, you don't use that phrase because high street has a completely different connotation in America. But in the rest of the world, high street means, you know, the main street in a town. And so when you've got a practice and you've got potentially people walking past your business, or they are seeing you present at a local conference, or for a lot of our practitioners, they turn up at things like park run, marathons, those kind of things. They've got banners, all that stuff. But what we're finding is people are meeting you as a person, as a business owner, face to face. Great. But they're doing their due diligence online. So you need to be getting them to a place online where they can learn about you, build that. And really now in marketing, that's really famous. Know, like, trust, very famous. You've got to build know, like, and trust so that people can try from you, buy from you, repeat, and then refer. So you are driving patients offline. They're naturally going online to do that due diligence, to find out if they know, if they decide if they like you and trust you as a business owner and somebody they want to spend their money with. And that is where we are seeing this transition now from kind of old school offline marketing to online marketing. And so that's why it's really important that any business now has a good Google business profile, has a good website with landing pages, has a social media profile. Even if you're not selling on social media, people are doing their due diligence on social media. So you need those three things as a minimum so that people can go away, have a rummage around and find out about you.
Is this really, really important then that we keep the brand consistency across everything exactly the same? Just because traditional, it doesn't matter. I mean, you've talked about, the brilliance of QR codes, and that's a game changer. It really is. Yeah. But the brand consistency, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's really important to remember that people buy from people.
They do.
Irrespective of whether you're a big-ish local business or a teeny-weeny local business, local people in a local sector, people are buying from the people in the business. And so it's really important that in terms of your branding, you get that consistency. So for example, if the banner at the sports ground was very formal and a bit blokey and a bit, very straight lines. We were talking about curves earlier, straight lines. And then I come to your practice or your business and it's very pink and it's very fluffy and the two don't go together. So it's really important that you have your visual branding, so your colors, your fonts, and your logo consistent on both offline and offline. You have your brand messaging. So that's your kind of tone of voice and the keywords that you use to explain to people what it is you do and how you do it. And that needs to be consistent across everything, whether it's online or offline. It really doesn't matter. It's really important to get that. So nobody's feeling like, oh, that's not what I was expecting, or it all hangs together.
Let's reverse that bit of brilliance then. Bringing on my feet here. Let's reverse that bit of brilliance, because say somebody's well into the digital environment, but how do we then get them to leverage the community engagement bit? So, like, for example, one of our clients, South African snack food and meat company up in Ulster, they do monthly and markets, and they're all online and that as well. So actually that works well. But how would you get a potential client, one of yours, a healthcare provider, within the community engagement bit, the physical community? Could you reverse that in a way?
Yes. So one of the things that is missing from people's common understanding or kind of old school idea of what marketing was, it was all about the ads. It was all about pushing out a message. Okay. And now, as I say, people are buying from people. And so what you've got to do is exactly to say, you've got to reverse that. So instead of pushing these messages out, we need to draw people towards us. And we draw people towards us with messages that resonate and human connection. And so that community, that sense of community, is really what is missing from a huge number of local businesses. And one of the things that I really encourage, and I've written blog posts about, done videos about, is about this community building. If you can get a bunch of like-minded patients who are all struggling the same struggle, and you can put them in a room like this so they can have a conversation about the struggle and about potential solutions, or you can put them into an online group where they can do the same thing, it creates energy. And so marketing isn't just this flat leaflet or a flat web page. It's about energy and attracting the right people and connecting with them. And so building a community through live streaming, through online communities, through videos, through just anything at all that creates a human connection is a powerful resource for you as a business owner to then sell to, because people are 60% more to buy from you if they already have a relationship with you. So as a base level, every single local business should be looking to develop a community. They don't have to be customers and clients that are already paying. These can all be potential clients and potential customers. But if you can find a way of nurturing, bringing people together and nurturing them and enable them, and the situation is you have to be able to communicate with them. They have to be able to communicate with you, but they have to be able to communicate, where am I there, with each other. So there has to be this three-way communication. If you can do that, you can build a really strong community that is really going to support your business.
It's almost like a human Venn diagram, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, I think you've answered the question I was going to ask you very early on about examples of how you do all that process. But what's the importance of businesses engaging? Most businesses some businesses and organizations might think they can go it alone. What's the real benefits? What's the leverage come from going to an expert like yourself who has you 100% walk the walk and talk the talk? You know, what you do for yourself, you do for your practices and vice versa. So
yeah,
how important is that actually people say, do you know what, I can't do this alone. I need to do with somebody and trust somebody.
And I think it's a really good point to bring, because there is certainly a sense of, I don't know whether it's pride or whether it's, often it's around budgets. I need to do this myself. Like, I can't outsource. I can't, because I haven't got the cash flow to support that. And so I think the thing about going to an expert like myself, like Joe, is that we can fast track. So we can help you fast track to get better results more quickly. And I will find now businesses are set up in a way that they have a tier of resources. So there'll be a free offering, there'll be a low cost offering, there'll be a slightly more expensive offering, and so it goes up. It's called this value ladder. So you create this value ladder in your business, and you can do this in your businesses where you've got something free, something very cheap, something a little bit more, and you take customers, clients on this journey with you. And so if you can find an expert who can start you off by saving you time, money, and energy, then you can dip in at the lowest level of their offering and improve what you're doing and grow and generate a little bit more revenue. And then with that little bit more revenue, you can afford to pay for a slightly more expensive service, and more and more and more. And so the idea is you've just got to start. And this is the other thing, people struggle with analysis paralysis. They're on 2,700 mailing lists. They've seen something online, they've signed up for a newsletter, they've done a challenge, they've done a video course, they've done all the things. They still are no further forward in their business. So choose 3 people who are going to support you in your business. Unsubscribe from everybody else, and for a period of time, follow those 3 people, take their free low-cost offerings and start to implement change in your businesses. And then you will start to grow, then you will start to progress. Because if you just sit at home or sit in your business and try to do all of this just by Googling and picking random people on YouTube to follow their videos, you are not going to have a sound, solid strategy to move you forward. And so that's kind of where I would encourage people to start, is to identify 3 people, follow them religiously, and start doing the doing from the very low end offering. And then as you progress and make more money, you can afford to do one-to-one coaching and that sort of stuff.
They call that the freemium model as well, don't they? Freemium.
Yeah, the premium. Yeah.
Freemium
And it's applicable in almost every industry. Every industry. If you are certainly, so I'm a B2B. I always say I'm not a B2B. I'm a P2P. I'm a person-to-person business. And also B2C. You know, all of those industries, all of those businesses. If you are, all of those can use the freemium model.
And you're right. I follow Gary Vaynerchuk. I follow Austin Armstrong. I follow Jill Woods. There you go. I have to say that because it's like, you know, the people I'm dealing with, you know, the what you've done with those is what I want to be doing with others. It's that person-to-person stuff. I allow other people to put me into a category of whether I'm B2B, B2C, B2Jesus, whatever. It is just this. Jill Woods, how do we get hold of you? I'll stick a thing up during the show today, and people can go and have a look at you. But you
will find me social media. I hang out a lot on Instagram and LinkedIn, so you can find Jill Woods or Practice Momentum on both of those. And then if you want to go to the website, we are practicemomentum.org.
Brilliant. Always great to catch up. Words of wisdom, pearls as ever, and we'll catch you soon. Jill Woods from the Practice Momentum. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, welcome back to today's show. Big Joe Shep here. Oh, wasn't that exciting? I love listening to Jill Woods. That was Jill Woods from Practice Momentum. And if you've just joined the show, today is part 3 of our 4-part mini-series, got to you courtesy of OneStream Live, called From Tradition to Tech, where we are taking people on a 4-week journey, helping businesses and organizations to understand where they're at, where they're at with traditional marketing and the importance of that, because it still has a part to play. On average, 25% of the 25 million small to medium businesses across Europe are still using traditional marketing methods. But the importance of transitioning across and ending up with digital transformation, i.e. utilizing digital technology in all aspects of the business or organization. And we're in part 3 today, looking at some of those simple ideas that Jill Woods has just covered on how you, on how you integrate those through. And again, said at the beginning of the show, there's one example. Business card, I don't tend to use them as much, but I do give them an amount as services on the back as my contact details, and I did put a QR code which takes you through to our website. So again, as Jill said, that can be put on a whole range of stuff that you are doing. We where I spoke about our good friends at Kanako Biltong up there in Ulster, South African snack food and meat company, who probably one of the great small to medium businesses that I know of across the island of Ireland that do that very, very well as well. So we looked at best practices for integration. She talked a little bit about case studies there, consumer behavior insights. Yeah, things are changing. Isn't it interesting now that I told you before to go and check out the short clip on SEO that DJ Strick did. He had a girl on, especially, forgive me, I can't remember her name, but recently he did one of his brilliant hub shows, and they've got a small clip from that on OneStream Live and on YouTube, and go and subscribe. You're going to get all the latest, best information from OneStream Live across all of the content creators that they provide. But the SEO stuff was I keep looking because I'm just trying to think of the right words today. I'm a little bit lost for once. It is groundbreaking in the changes. Everything is happening so fast, and in the SEO world, you know, a lot of your authority and reputation, etc., 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 and is all covered within that. So there we are. I did love the point that Jill brought out about brand consistency. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. Let's throw it back up again. I say people are going to get sick of seeing this. They're not, clearly, because we get asked for it a couple of times a week. It's been shared through all of the shows. And I think as a ready reckoner, ladies and gents, to be fair, when you look at this, it just, you know, you as a business owner or as an organization owner or somebody working within your business, because a lot of businesses aren't just one person businesses, they're more. And sometimes you've got this role or this responsibility and it's stovepipe, and you think, well, why is that done? So you've got a responsibility, an overarching responsibility, to look at where your organization is and the part you play in it, not just your immediate role, but the wider bit. Because otherwise, sometimes we get frustrated on, well, we're doing this bit, but I know we could be doing this, so I need the organization to understand. So this image, and again, if you want this image or any of the stuff that we produce, just send us a message and we'll pay it in. Send us a message or whatever, or comment, and we'll get in touch with you and we'll send you the stuff, and then we'll have the conversation about where you're at, you and your organization, because you and your organization and your business is a totally different journey from anybody else's. So when you look at this as a ready reckoner, tick. Print ads. Do I do print ads? Do I do newspapers, magazines, those type of things? Do I do the pop-ups at stalls, flyers and brochures? Excuse me. Do I do those as well? Again, very, very effective, but can be short-lived in very ways. Can be long-lived because somebody might put them up. Well, I think we've got a brochure downstairs from somebody, didn't need it at the time, but we knew we were going to need it in the future, so it's magneted onto the fridge, so we know where it is for when we need it. So it still works even with people like us. Direct mail, business cards, local events, you know, artisan markets, all of those type of things, farmers markets, anything like that, your bricks and mortar shop, whatever you're doing. But how do you integrate that across? And Jill's point on the brand consistency is so important. That brand consistency is great as long as when that QR code goes through to my website, the website is the same branding, it's the same colors, it's the same everything. Do you know what I mean? Love the way that she covered. Let's just get rid of that now. Love the way that she covered. Excuse me. That the due diligence, that people will check you out. So the whole, you know me, like me, trust me. So buy from me, and she has a really great stuff there on the, you know. Once you get to that point, people will then try, buy, refer, repeat, etc., etc., etc. Great concept. That cycle that we're doing, that cycle. Go back to episode 1, the cycle 14 years ago, where we had junk mail as it was, with email. We've come that cycle now to traditional marketing and live streaming and digital engagement. No difference. Well, life just goes in cycles. People born, people pass on, people grow, the cycle continues, just given a different name. It's adapted for the new world. So there we are. That's it. Okay. Ultimately, you could be here. You might be thinking, well, this is working for me, and absolutely brilliant. Okay, absolutely brilliant. We think it's fantastic, but the transition through is going to happen at some point. You can be, what's the old expression? You can be, it was in my head now, it's just gone. But effectively, you can be pulled by the knowledge, the dream that you have, the vision of where you want your organization to be, or you can be pushed by your circumstances. So you might get to the point where your business, your organization is no longer hitting the mark in all of those areas, because again, if you look at traditional, digital, the AI thing, scary for some. We'll dispel some myths, by the way, in part 4 next week on AI. And the fact nowadays people are using AI for everything. There's brilliance, but it's not required for absolutely everybody, and not in the way that people are using it. So I'll give you the BGS spiel on AI next week, and some because again, it's all of that transitional process through. But you can be pulled by your pushed by your circumstances to the point where maybe it's a bit late, where your business, your organization isn't where it needs to be. It's not hitting the targets you want it to be. You put a lot of time and effort, a lot of money into it. So sooner or later, you are going to have to get into that right-hand column there. But currently, in the next few years, you can achieve that by being in the winning combination, by looking at where you are, having the conversation with people like myself or any of my team at Livestream Solutions or Livestream Academy, or we've got a message come through there. We'll check that in just a second. Or the team at OneStream Live. And how do we set up a bespoke transition for you coming through? It has to be done. It will be done, because otherwise you're going to get left behind. Let's just have a look at this. It's the maestro himself. He's back from Hollybobs, the great Stephen Healy, the man who taught me most of what I know. Stephen, good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you for joining us today. Great man. Follow Stephen. Stephen Healy is another content creator and brand ambassador of OneStream Live. Go to shop, by the way. He does his Amazon live show. He's absolutely superb on the stuff he does there. And this guy here, right, you might recognize this name. So AI is spin. I see it in marketing blurb, and it seems to become obvious it's all about blagging. You're absolutely right, T. T is actually my brother. He is a specialist in cybersecurity and a whole range of other geek. You won't mind me saying this, geeky nerd stuff. I mean, this guy, he is my brother, but I still only work with people, whether they're family or not, who know their stuff. And this guy is absolutely brilliant. T, you're absolutely right, and that's why I brought it, because I'm going to alienate some people. I think next week maybe I'll spin on AI. AI, there's elements there, as Tony will tell you. But we'll come with that next week. But Tony, great to see you on today's show, and thanks for supporting us. So why do I know something? What am I qualified? Here's a question. I did get a question after week 1. So what qualifies me to to say what we should and shouldn't be doing as a small to medium business or organization? Okay, so I did write some things down. I'll tell you what I'm not. Okay, I've got no master's degree in marketing or other associated type stuff. I've got a master's equivalent from City and Guilds in London in leadership and management. So what? All right, it just means I can look at some things in a simplistic way. What I do is I look at things at a strategic level. What's happening? What's changing? What do people need in the world? And what is out there? What apps, software, whatever? OneStream Live. It's a strategic piece of software that helps people at that tactical. So strategic, operational, tactical, or ground level. Military things. Okay, so strategically, what is it you need to do for your business and organization? How do you operationally deliver that? How do you get that message down? How do you engage? How do you get the message about your product, your service, your story, what's changing? How do people get, how do you deliver that down in all your different channels? And then tactically, the ground level, how do we view things? And I view things, everything, through that KISS methodology I mentioned before. Keep it simple, I'm stupid. Let's keep it simple, I'm stupid. Because I look at everything from a client or a customer's point of view. And am I getting that message that's being delivered down? And therefore, is that achieving the aim? And then I marry all three together. And that's what I'm pretty good at doing. So I have no masters in marketing. I have no formal qualifications in business per se. I've got, I'll come back to that one. No award-winning successful businesses per se. And no idea if everything I do will work. I come up with about 40 ideas a day. My brain doesn't switch off. And I'm constantly looking 2 steps ahead. So I have an idea of something, but it's based on something that I will see. There's a need for it. There's a gap in the marketplace, I think the gurus would call it. But then neither does the great Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V does lots and lots of things. He accepts that an awful lot of things won't work. But then he says, hey, you can die, and then what? So he's happy for people if they just want to do one thing. But he, a bit like me, I think that's why I gravitate towards people like that. Very excitable and a lot of different ideas. So they're the things I'm not. They're the things I haven't got qualifications in, but here's what I can do. I've worked and been successful at ground to board level for over 40 years in both hostile and benign environments and run some pretty damn big projects, and they've all been successful. Not at first, not all of the ideas, but the end product or service has always been successful in what we've done. I'm seriously experienced in every key business area. So all the key business areas. So key business area 1 would be organizational development and change, and how we structure companies and organizations, business units, doesn't matter what size they are, being able to identify what they do, why they do it, where, when, how, all based on who? Rudyard Kipling, remember him, wrote Jungle Book, etc., lots of other things. But to paraphrase him, he had an expression which said, 6 good brothers have I true. What, where, when, why, how, and who. Ask that to most of the things you do, and you'll always get to a natural conclusion. So you can have all of the business plans and business models and everything in the world. But KISS methodology, a little bit of that works as well. I do understand my business models. I don't try and impart them on people. I still understand the organization and what they need to do, and then I'll put the best or a mixture of those things in to do. So that's what it does. So organizational development and change, business intelligence and security. What are we doing? What are our competitors doing? Where can we get the edge on that? Operations and planning, logistics and logistics management as well. Key business area 6, which is communications, online, offline, everything from this is communications, everything from using the latest software and apps to be able to communicate that message and get it out there. Automated. Most of the things are automated, but this will come onto AI next week. Yeah, keep the personal touch, because it's the person that people get to know. When they know you, like you, trust you, remember what Jill said, they will then more likely to buy from you and refer from you and come back and repeat the whole process going through again. So we do all that. Hey, listen, back in the day, long time ago, I even learned Morse to 14 words a minute and came off my course 18 words a minute. And I think it was, I can't remember, I think I said last time it was 48 hours later after doing Morse, after teaching myself 2 hours a day in the morning and evening, and then going on this 10-week course, they then sort of sacked it and didn't use it. Now, that's when you have a checkup from the neck up on things like that, and learning a recorder at school are 2 of those things in life that I think, I'm not going to get that time back, but 3 blind mice, still play it, lads. There we go. So all of those things, and liaison, influence, engagement, I specialize in an awful lot. Finding people that are across the road, bringing them together. I'm not contracted by anybody. Nobody's contracted to me. The people I'm working with, like the great Stephen Healy, Brigetti, all of those people, Justine Van Noort from Missing Letter, we are all joint venture partners. That is the future, and that helps your transition if you view things that... so I work currently as Joe Shepherd, not as founder and CEO of my own company. Joe Shepherd, I am working to OneStream Live, but as a joint venture partner. And I'm a content creator, and I provide a brand ambassador, all that type of thing, but also look at a wider issue because I've got my company, Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy. So I look at things in a different way, which ultimately helps them and helps me get to where I want to go, including this week. Because I'm not a techie, I had a couple of issues. I'm now onto the development team, working with the CTO, and I have to thank the CTO this week and the Chief Operating Officer for facilitating a meeting that helps. If something isn't working, speak to the right people, engage with them, and the solution will always come out. So thank you to everybody for doing that this week, because that's really massively moving forward in what we're doing and what we between us. So joint venture partnerships, that's what it's all about. And then the people who work with me, like Stephen Healy and Brigitte, Marco and Justin Van Nert and Dave Topping, all of those people who will work alongside me, they don't work for me or for my company, they're joint venture partners. They come in, we work together when we need to on a specific aspect of the project. And then my clients, the people who are working with me, who technically clients, but I am a joint venture partner of them. So if you're like up to OneStream and around, the people who are beside me and the clients, joint venture partners. And then we identify other joint venture partners. That's the future. But as a client grows, as a joint venture partner, business grows, then I'll grow with it. And as we grow, they'll grow, because we'll find new and better things that we can help them with. They'll come up with ideas as well. Their transition will be smoother. And it's that integrated thing that we're talking about today, aren't we? Integrated, we're trying to get from here, on the right side, traditional marketing across the live streaming and engagement, to digital transformation, the bit in the middle, the winning benefits. And at some point, that bit in the end, the traditional bit, will get thinner, more, what's the word they look for? Opaque. When it gets a little bit lighter and lighter, and the others become stronger and stronger. Because by that time, go back 14 years to junk mail and email, it will become AI and whatever's going to come after that. It will change the way we do things. It will change the way we do things. But the whole integrated process is a mindset. So in the same way as everybody's a joint venture partner for me, above, around, or below, we're all joint venture partners. We're all an extension of each other's, what we're trying to achieve. And, we charge a price that is absolutely incomparable with any other marketing agency out there, any other provider out there, because we've identified what's needed, and we've identified based on our own requirements as well, and doing it at a price point that we can help many. It's not a case of, I go back to why I won't just stick the affiliate link out or the link to join, because there's no point. I need to be with you on that journey. My team are there. OneStream Live are there with you. The OneStream Live, there's just not going to be anybody to touch them. There just isn't going to be anybody to touch them where they're going. Let me tell you now, that's why I'm here. So that integrated process that we're talking about over those first few weeks, coming through from flies to Facebook, introduction to live, coming through this, how do we integrate a bit more? There's some ideas there. There's some thought provokers. We're saying to you, where are you on that model now? And then don't worry about being a techie. Don't worry about being this, that, or the other, because I've just read you out some of the things that I'm not, but also some of the things that I am. And the reason I put this business together is because I saw a gap in the market, and then I identify the people that I need to work with, like OneStream Live. Our social media content scheduling service that we use for the company is a fantastic company called Missing Letter. The director of operations works as a joint venture partner with me, helping me advise people, and because it's a social media content scheduling service, and each individual client has their own unique, secure area to schedule out their content, their social media content, to automate it, to make it easier. And we've got an advisor who's now working. So another joint venture partner. I looked for what I needed for my company. I then realized how powerful it could be for clients as well. So I bought an agency level license. I've got an advisor from them, a very high up advisor, I have to say. It was just brilliant. So, and it's that bit of engagement, it's that bit of trust, it's that bit of relationship building, looking longer term that we can provide that no one else can provide. But it all comes back down to starting with live streaming. And live streaming is a service, and the capability that OneStream Live give us to be able to plan, schedule, deliver out real-time live streaming or pre-recorded streaming to 45 plus channels, including your website. And, you know, I've been monitoring today while Jill Woods was talking on the pre-recorded video. Again, pre-recorded video. I was watching on YouTube. I was watching on my own, gone live to our website. And that sort of thing is phenomenal. So, lads, I'm going to wrap up. Do you know why? Because, sometimes I could sit here for hours and hours and hours. The whole point of telling you what I'm not, but what I can do, is because I've learned what is needed. I don't come in, my company doesn't come in, OneStream Live certainly don't come in. They wouldn't allow it to happen, to come in and say, right, you need something doing, bag of money, come back to us when you need us next. Don't work. You know, as Jill said, how many email agencies or accounts or different things have you signed up to? Each of us, I'd say, probably has about 10 different things that we're following, 10 different people we're following. We're trying to find that. We're trying to find that thing that goes boom. That's what I need. And we're taking up so much time and effort. So from the J. Great Jill Woods, and as espoused by Big Joe Shep, find three people. Oh, and by the way, those 3 people will change. So maybe every quarter, every 90 days, if you find, okay, you come across something else, but follow 3. Follow what they're doing and see whether that works for you, and look at it that way and take some pressure off yourself. But it all starts with a journey. I don't need master's qualifications. I don't need huge successful businesses. One client I worked with as part of an organization previously, I helped them save 1.5 to 2.5 million on a global IT hardware refresh, because the project I was working on, which was 6 years old by that point, I found a hole in the system, and I was the only person to ever do the role without doing a prerequisite master's degree course in information systems. But because I didn't, I looked at things in a different way. So my is a results driven 40 years, and I love it. And we set up our company to help. We set up joint venture partnerships OneStream Live because they're the best in what they do. So where do you need to go? This ultimately is what it's all about. If I needed to sum up 2 things to leave you with today, one is an image that we've used on previous weeks, and one I'm going to leave you with a very short video, and I'll tell you about the video in a minute. But this is what it's all about. Traditional marketing's like using a shovel to dig a hole or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it works. Yes, you can do it, but you're going to get a whole pile of those blisters and things on your hands, but it will work. That's what traditional marketing is. In this day and age, live streaming and digital engagement is like using a JCB. It does the same job. It just does it an awful lot quicker, better. It is working smarter, not harder. And it's as simple as that. Last little video I'm going to show you now. Just before I do, next week's show is part 4. See, look, there's that guy from that parallel universe, that metaverse again. You know, he snuck himself in. I just don't know. Jesus, he needs to change that shirt as well. He's been wearing that for weeks. To get away with it. But next week on part 4 of Traditional Tech, it is embracing tech and live streaming, where we'll be looking at really sort of a collection of what we've done over the first 3 weeks. But looking at some top tips about how it can make life even easier for you than we've covered already. And there'll be smattering of AI as well on that as well, looking at that. And just to dispel some myths, dispel some worries about where you are. If you can hear some scratching in the background, that's my dog making a nest for herself underneath there. So there we go. Even the dogs get involved in everything here. So that's on part 4 next week. I'm going to leave you with this video. from a guy from a previous show that we did, and it's a short clip, and he is Nick Carlson, and Nick Carlson is managing director of a digital marketing agency in the UK. Brilliant, but they have a global presence, and they're called Secret Source Marketing, based in Peterborough. Have a global presence. Check them out. And Nick, as the managing director, spoke previously, and so we've taken that short clip on live streaming and why you need to embrace. And if you don't have to take my word for it, you don't have to take anybody else's words for it, but take Nick Carlson, the managing director of a digital marketing, a very successful, globally based digital marketing agency, and his view on live streaming. Until next week, I've been Big Joe Shep. This has been part 3, the only part 3 of Tradition to Tech, where we've been looking at how we integrate everything through. Until next week, stay safe, and it's always a pleasure. Take care now. Here we go.
And that's exactly what I think Live Streaming Solutions is. You are the specialists that can help us bridge the gap between saying to our customers, we think you should really build this community, but how? Here's the first sort of baby steps, as it were, to get on that ladder. I think people who are still being and sort of a bit embarrassed to actually go on live, they're going to get left behind. So I think you do need to make that leap. And so if you've got partners like yourselves who can actually hold their hand through those steps, I think it's hugely powerful. And